What's up? What's up, Dean?
Mr. Pickles!
What's going on?
How are you, sir? I do call you sir, correct?
Strong and salty. And yourself?
I am great. I'm feeling great. It's a gorgeous day here. Spring is amazing here in Arizona right now.
Hey, look at the top of my head and look at the top of your head.
We're brothers in arms, you and I.
Right. We both have a green head with bumps on it.
Yes, we do. Huh. I got to shave. I've got my bumps here, and I got to shave. And you could probably use a shave too, Mr. Pickle.
I could always use a good shave.
You could be Telly Sapickle.
Telly Sapickle. That's right. Or
Kojak.
Or what's the name of those pickles? What's the brand name?
Vlasic?
Vlasic. Yeah. I'm gonna star in Vlasic Park.
Are you a man-eating pickle?
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
dang right.
Tyrannosaurus pickle? Bronto pickle?
I'm a Velociraptor.
Velociraptor, that's right. That's right. A Brontosalty.
All right, enough of this tomfoolery or Jim and Dean foolery. We have important business. Let me go over to jimanddeanshow.com and see if we have anybody over there with us live. VJ's here, Voidtek's here. Look at them. They know what to do. They show up over at jimanddeanshow.com and then they can interact with us. So, Dean.
Yes, Jim.
Lots going on today.
Yeah.
I'm taking a new supplement.
You are? What are you taking?
Apple cider vinegar gummies.
We put it in liquid and drink apple cider vinegar straight.
Yeah, I know. It tastes like crap.
It does.
So these taste good.
Oh.
So I'm thinking I might create my own private labeled unicorn apple cider vinegar gummies.
It's a great idea. Are you taking that for digestion as a probiotic, to cleanse, a liver cleanse?
I have no idea. My wife gave it to me and said, take them. She could be, they could have arsenic in them and I wouldn't even know it. I take whatever my wife tells me and I shut up and I'm happy about it.
There you go.
That's why I've been married almost 30 years.
It's a good thing.
I know my place. I know my place. Too. So I also take these Sambucus elderberry gummies. Are you seeing a theme here? It's not supplements. It's the gummy part.
You love chewy and sweet.
That's right.
I used to chew so much bubble gum as a kid. It just rotted my teeth. I mean, because I played Little League baseball. When you play baseball, you got to chew gum all the time. And at Bazooka, and you got a comic, you got the Bazooka Joe comic, and the flavor went out of the bubble gum after 5 minutes. So you had to put another piece of gum. So it was eating fresh sugar every 5 to 10 minutes all day.
That's right. That's right. If they had Mountain Dew in gum form, I would have chewed it.
Oh, yeah.
So there you go. Oh, we're losing people. We're not getting to the, that's okay. Whatever. We'll talk about, it's the Jim and Dean show. It's not the You Just Left show. That's fine. You don't want to stick around for the goodness. Just sayonara.
And this is preamble to, and it has, anything that we talk about has to do with what we're about to talk about.
Okay. So we actually have a two-part show today and we actually know what we're going to be talking about. So the first thing that we're going to talk about is a question that somebody asked last week when we did the Gene and Din show.
The Gene and Dim
show. So Katie says she loves the Sambucus elderberry Me Too Mountain Dew gum. There you go. And Bob says, I hope the unicorn brand doesn't make us horny. Let me tell you what, I might come out with unicorn ginseng. The power of the horn in a bottle. I could have so much fun making unicorn supplements and stuff.
Oh my gosh.
And then just jerking around with taglines and stuff, and a giant disclaimer that these are not intended to prevent or cure any illness, and you could go blind. So, I mean, that's just the giant disclaimer. Like everything they did, they would have to just totally acknowledge that I mean, aliens could invade their bodies if they even bought this, not let alone put it in your mouth. And everything could be, and none of it's to be taken orally. And you know what that means. I don't even need to get any, it's a supplement, but it's not to be taken orally. So
complete the sentence yourself.
That's right. That's right. You know,
and
stick it in your ear.
I can't say it here, but you're always asking me, come on, Dean, tell me a joke. You just I've got a joke for you after the show.
Oh, dude, you can't tell it now?
No, it's just inappropriate.
Oh. And so you can't tell it now?
This is your show. So if you're giving me
No. We're not going to do the passive aggressive joke telling. It's the Jim and Dean show. It's not the Jim show with Dean. It's the Jim and Dean show.
So let's ask if if the audience is okay with me telling a spicy joke.
Okay, are you okay with Dean telling a spicy joke? Let me ask a different question. Whoever here is easily offended, please identify yourself now so that we can offend you even more. I want to point you out, okay? Sonny is easily offended. I know Sonny is totally easily offended. Bob says we're too sensitive. Brian says, yes, please. Sonny says, let's hear it.
And
that's
you
like
can
that's like a
you just mute for 20
her.
seconds. It's a very quick joke. Okay, so here it goes. If you're easily offended, mute yourself now.
All right, so let's do it.
So a father says to his little son, son, don't masturbate. You'll go blind. And the kid says, Dad, I'm over here.
The one I heard that joke, but it was, okay, Dad, but can I do it till I need glasses?
Yeah.
So anyway, all right, I like it. So see, if you're offended, leave.
Even Sonny liked it. There we go.
That's right.
We're okay.
Sonny wasn't going to be offended.
Oh, okay.
Somebody's offended though. Come on, let us know if you were offended so I can take you off my friends list. Okay. So part one was somebody asked a question last week, and the gist of the question was, if you wanted to sell copywriting services, what would be your advice? So I'm paraphrasing. I will go first because my answer is going to be really, really short. I actually have never sold copywriting services. One time, I think I wrote a sales letter for a real estate buddy of mine back in 1997 when I had first learned how to write or actually, I guess 2000, when I was first learning how to really write long form sales copy. Maybe it was 2001-ish, but it was one time. It was just that one time. I've never done that. The one thing I will say, just from observation, the people I've seen that have done really well with selling copywriting services is that they, especially when they're first starting out, they specialize in a niche or in an industry or for a specific type of client or a specific thing. So the one that comes to mind is a friend of mine who got his start writing, of all things, Amazon listings for e-commerce sellers. And that was his shtick, was he was getting a lot of money. Like he's getting thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars for writing an Amazon listing, but he had several that he'd written that had hit 6 to 7 in one, even 8 figures in sales. So he could command that. Dean, I'll let you answer because you're more, you sell copywriting.
This is the other side of the same coin. Where Jim says, get really good at a specific niche. I would add, get really good at a specific kind of copy. Really good. What do you love doing? Is it email copy? Is it sales copy? Is it Facebook ads? Is it YouTube videos? Is it doodle videos? I mean, is it landing pages? I would get really great at a specific kind of copy. And if the question is, how do you find clients? That's a different thing. So first, get really good at something. The next part is to get clients. It's pretty simple. If you are good at a certain, let's say it's email copy, and it's email copy in the supplement space, you can write emails that get for clients who do e-com selling supplements. Google supplements, go to websites, look at their copy, get on their email list, and see what kind of emails they're sending you. And if you look at that copy, and in most cases, if you're a decent copywriter, you go, oh boy, I think I could really improve on these emails. Well, write an improvement email, or write an email as a sample, or a couple of emails, or a series of emails, and then go on Facebook, see if you can find that person. Typically, they'll have a contact on that website and say, hey, you know, I really like your supplements. I think you have a great thing here. I'm on your email list, and I think I like your emails. I think there's room where you could really knock it out of the park, and say, and you create a little Loom video, or you send them a sample of one or two of the emails that you sent, and say, send these out and see how they do. That's how you get clients. It's results in advance. You give people value. You give your clients value before they even hire. You're not even asking for the gig. You're just saying, here, I can help you. And I have a client, I have a coaching student who does exactly that. And he does incredibly well.
Nice.
That's just one way.
That's pretty good. And if you would like the other 15 to 20 ways, you can contact Dean and pay his hourly rate, and he will coach you through doing that.
And I could say, you know, I remember early on in our relationship, and this is what I did with ClickFunnels. This is how I got the gig with ClickFunnels, is that I would write copy, and since I use ClickFunnels, I would write, and I'm writing a lot of sales letters and challenge funnels and challenge sales letter. So the copy that I would write was in ClickFunnels. And then I remember after meeting you a few years ago, we had reconnected. It was at Funnel Hacking Live, and it was in Orlando, I think, in 2018. And we said hello.
We met, and I didn't remember you, but then you came up to me again and was like, we met it, and I was like, oh.
Yeah. And I remember Jim, I remember buying one of your first products, Internet Profits in 33 Days, something like, right?
33 Days to Online Profits.
33 Days to Online Profits with Yannick Silver. That was back in, oh man.
2001.
2001. So yeah. I remember I said, hey, Jim, I wrote, here's a sales letter I just wrote for a client. Here's a sales letter I just wrote for ClickFunnels. And you would take it, go, oh. And then you and I started working together. I didn't ask for the work. All I did is say, here's a sample of my work. I know you're a copywriter. You're churning out tons of copy for yourself. Jim and I started working together.
Well, and the hook that you used with me, the hook that you used with me though, wasn't I can write better copy than you. It's that I know you're busy. So if you ever don't have time to write something and need to outsource it, think of me. Was the gist of it. And that was the one. It was like, okay, he's not saying he's better than me. He's saying that he can, you know, he might be able to help me.
I can be of value so that you're not working your tail off.
Right. And then I paid you some money, and then I figured it was cheaper to partner with you on some stuff than it was to keep paying you. Yeah, I think that's great advice. I really do. It's if you want to do it, then do it. That's the other thing. It's the other thing I would say is that whatever you want to get good at, go do it a bunch and get good at it. And then people will seek you out, or you'll be able to do stuff.
You do the same thing. If you see there's a Facebook group and people are Asking for help. I mean, go to copy or go to forums. People here are probably in some internet marketing forums, see the problems people are having. Then you ask, what's your website? Or is there an email list I can get on? That's all you're doing. You get on their list and you go, oh man, I see the sales copy. I see your website copy. Maybe you're good at writing profiles for people, for people, or maybe you're good at writing the contact us page, which are pretty horrible in most cases. I mean, there's a whole niche right there in writing a contact us page to make it like compelling for people to contact you. Reach out.
Maybe you're great at advertorials.
And
maybe
there's so many things.
There's a huge market for that in the affiliate marketing
space. Go to ClickBank, go to JVZoo. Read there's some amazing copy there that where you can learn. Then find out who you find out who it is, you contact them, find out where they are, get them through Facebook Messenger, say, hey, here's something, I think, give it a shot. I think this may help you.
Yeah.
And you're not asking for anything in return.
And understand that not everybody's going to respond. And you don't need everybody to respond. If everybody did respond, then you'd be overworked and would under-deliver value, and everyone would say you sucked. And then you'd have to go live in a hut down by the river. Couldn't even afford an abandoned van body.
And your job for that person who asked question, how do you get the copywriting gigs? If you've got funnel scripts, your job is just made 90% easier. Funnel scripts is a business box in itself.
Yeah.
That you can use.
So this leads us to the next thing. And then if we have time, I see some questions coming in that we can hit. But the second thing is, Dean, before we jumped on here, Dean and I had a meeting, and the people that we were meeting with them, I'm not telling tales out of school. I'm not going to identify because it doesn't matter. They've been running a couple different websites, and they're running them successfully. They're making money, and it's working. And yet they were upset. They were not happy. It's like, I'm looking at these numbers, and as far as I can tell, you're making 2.5 to 3 times your ad spend from what I can see.
Yeah, when you have a 4.7 and 3.4% conversion rate on cold traffic.
Right. That are paying $50 a pop to do something right up front. My point though, and this was the thing I wrote in the description, do you throw the baby out with the bathwater? And one of the principles that we explained to these folks was that the more general you are in your sales copy, the harder it is to convert people. So we could see when they had one set of stats where they were pretty dialed in on who their target avatar was. And then on the next one, they were like, well, if it works for these people, it'll work for these people, these people, these people, these people, and these people. Literally, it was like 5 groups. And they wanted to target, and they did target those 5 groups. Literally, their sales letter was, if you're this and a this or this or this or this, then this is for you. And it waters it down too much. And their cost per acquisition, again, I'm not gonna, but their cost per acquisition went from
what did it was 5
70
times?
It went from $78 to $190.
2.5 times.
Yeah, the cost, because they diluted their message. They diluted the effectiveness of it, because they weren't just calling out to one specific group of people. They were calling out to everybody, literally everybody and their brother. And so it's hard to do a specific group. It's hard to get a really punchy, curiosity-driven, hooky message to 5 different distinct groups all at the same time. So then their reaction was, well, I guess we just have to go back to the drawing board. We'll just have to do do we have to do a whole new website? Do we have to do a whole new everything? And Dean and I were like, what? All you need to do is just isolate a landing page for each one of those groups. And really, to do that, all you have to do is just make one tweak to your video sales letter. Instead of mentioning all 5 groups at the beginning, just mention one. And at the top, attention, specific group, number 1. Another landing page, attention, specific group, number 2. It's like people do all this work and then it doesn't work immediately. So they're like, oh, well, the whole thing is shot. It's all, I just got to burn this house down.
Exactly. And they've only been running this challenge now for, I think it's just 6 weeks. I mean, it's just the baby.
I didn't mention it was a challenge. You're the one that's telling tales out of school now. I didn't mention it was a challenge.
It's okay. They still won't know, but it's a lead magnet. All right. Okay. We're talking about a lead magnet. And the whole point that Jim is making is that if something, and this happens a lot with entrepreneurs, if ads aren't working right or aren't converting, if the landing page isn't converting, if your offer is not converting, you think you've got to scrap it all and throw it all away and start all over again. You just got to take a step back because you're so close to it. And we're all close to our babies. Right. We always are. So it always helps to get an outside eye, because when it's much easier when you're not emotionally attached to it. When you're inside, you're emotionally attached to it and you want to know what's going on. I got to take this baby back to the hospital and exchange it for another baby because this one's going to be trouble.
I've got a leaky faucet. I need to bulldoze the house and start over.
Exactly. And a lot of times, most times, it's just a simple, and we talked about this yesterday on the Monday Madness show. Somebody asked, if you could just focus on one skill and learn one skill, what would it be? And Jim's answer was,
I'd be a better hooker.
A hook. What's your hook? A great, persuasive, compelling hook. And that's all these guys and women needed to do that we were talking to before we got on this call. Find your hook. Who are you talking to? And when you know who you're talking to specifically, then you can you go inside, they've already have a terrific offer. Go inside and look at all the different things. How are the audiences responding to it? Survey the audience, call your best customers up, ask them. I mean, these are all the things that Jim was suggesting on this call. Ask. Your audience and market will tell you.
Absolutely. But the big thing is, and this was a great example. If you have something that's working, but it's not working to the level that you expect, that you want it to work, or you're like, hey, it would make sense that it would be at this level. It's like it's just barely breaking even or doing whatever. This is not the time for a big machete of changes. This is where you're doing little tweaks to try and make it incrementally better. But the one that you should pay the most attention to, is that Jesse again? Yeah. The one that we are the one that you should pay the most attention to, the part you should pay the most attention to, is above the fold. Because that's usually where your hook is. That's where your curiosity driver is. That's where your video sales letter is. It's probably usually where your first call to action is. You might have a couple of bullets or an image they act as hooks as well. And the thing that I have found over the years, especially looking at my own behavior, is that, and looking at other people too. I mean, looking at heat maps, that's another thing is this is backed up not just by my own aberrant behavior, but looking at what other people do. Once you hook somebody and you've got their attention and they're thinking to themselves, hey, there might be some real answers here. This might really be what I'm looking for. The rest of your copy, as long as you're not insulting their lineage or other things, they're going to read or pay attention pretty darn far down your sales copy. It's the most important part is hooking them and pre-framing them. And then the rest of it, they'll figure out on their own to a large extent. It's really about the hook and the offer and the story in between too. But your story can even kind of suck. And if you've got an amazing hook and an amazing offer, the story could be two sentences long.
I agree. And the other thing that will help too is that when you get your hook above that fold, keep in mind that most people skim sales copy. So your subheads are also compelling hooks, because if you can create that great hook up above that talks specifically to your audience, and then the subheads before each of all the other text and copy come in, people are going to read those sub headlines as great hooks. That's all you need. They'll go right to the, yep, sign me up, I'm in.
Yep. Yeah. That and if I'm hearing you right, you're talking about creating that secondary reading path, which is just one hook after another. I mean, it's just that's literally all it is. So I'm not going to show you, but I'm going to read you a series of sub-headline hooks. This is totally unscripted. This is a brand new offer that I put together, literally, that got finished today. Okay. So I'm going to read you I'm going to read you just the headlines, subheadlines, pre-headlines. Okay. Attention, new ClickFunnels subscribers. Instantly create all the persuasive sales letters, emails, ads, and video sales scripts you need for your funnels, no matter what you sell, even if you have zero copywriting or sales experience. Put together a great sales pitch for your funnels in record time with this revolutionary new push button software. Wait, before you read on, the sales message you're about to read, including the above headline and video, was created with the Funnel Builder Script software package from Funnel Scripts. Take a hard look at this now. What if you had the ability to sell whatever you want online, no limits? There are some roadblocks we have to get past first before the sales start rolling in. Convincing people you never met to pay you money through the internet can feel almost impossible. I know exactly how you feel because I've been there myself more than once. The Funnel Builder Scripts push button copywriting software to the rescue. Here's your push button secret to write sales letters, emails, and video message scripts for your funnel that sell like crazy, no experience required. Who is Jim Edwards and why should I listen to him? Take a look at what others are saying about the power of our funnel scripts. 12 fun, easy push button scripts to automatically write the high converting sales letters, emails, video sales scripts, and ads for your funnels. I'm literally just reading subheads. Okay, total value X, but today you're getting all of this for only Y. Act now and you'll also get 30-day unconditional money-back guarantee. Your shortcut to create persuasive sales messages for your funnels, no matter what you sell, without having any copywriting experience whatsoever. Claim your access to the Funnel Builder Scripts push button software right now. Here's everything you get today. That's it. That's the alternative reading path.
So, and the alternative reading path. So what Jim just read, and this is the first time I heard it, yes. But in my head, I'm going, this is following a classic, proven sales letter framework, taking people from here to introducing in these subheads. He's introducing a little, what's the pain? What's the challenge? He's introducing, here's some curiosity. What does he mean by that? Where's he going? Here's the story. Here's the risk. Here's the offer. Here's the risk reversal. Here's the proof, the social proof, all of this stuff. Look at this. That's all. He's going down a chapter here.
Secret number 17.
All he's doing, how to write an amazing sales letter fast. Yep. So once these subheads are like chapter titles. And then all you have to do is fill in some of the copy and the text of, okay, here's a little more detail about this chapter head, which is, these are touchstones. These are touch points that have been proven for over 100 years of copywriting and sales copy to work over and over and over again. You do not have to reinvent the wheel.
Right. And the way I view them is that each one is a hook for that section.
That's right.
So it's like one hook leads to the next hook, which leads to the next hook, to the next hook, to the next hook, till finally like, dude, I got to get this. I just got to get it.
And that's the whole point of a hook. It's to get you to read it and go, oh, I need to read more. So that
Right.
subhead hook, if you're a skimmer, you're going to go to the next subhead line. Is that compelling enough and persuasive enough and curiosity driven, evocative, provocative enough to take me to the next subhead? That's all you're doing is taking steps down the ladder.
And then there are other hooks that you use that maybe they're not hooks, but maybe you wouldn't think of them as hooks, like that you could use, like, sound familiar. These are little things that you can use to keep people, sound familiar.
Call them breadcrumbs.
Right. I know I did ... a lot. If this sounds at all like you and your situation, then I'd like to invite you to check out, now that's a tall promise.
Who am I?
Right.
What is that situation?
Right. Now that's a tall promise. And at this point you might be asking, but don't just take my word for it. Take a look at this. I mean, there's so many things that the first person I ever heard refer to it that this, I mean, I give credit where credit is due, but Yannick called it the Bucket Brigade. I learned a lot about copy from Yannick back in the day too, and just, that he called it the Bucket Brigade. That's how you hand off one section to another. It's with the at this point you might be asking.
Well, it's like a baton relay race, right?
Right.
Yeah.
Absolutely. But all of these hooks, I heard it said one time, I mostly agree with it, is that the whole purpose of each section of your copy is to move people on to the next section of copy.
Yeah.
It's just to keep them moving on down the trail, and eliminating objections and other stuff until finally they're like, look, I gotta get this. I can't.
I think that's from Eugene Schwartz, the classic, copywriter, who said the whole point of a headline is to get them to read the subhead. And the whole point of the subhead is to get them to read the next line in the next sentence of your copy.
Yeah. And I think that goes for video sales letters and everything else. I mean, you gotta, that's one thing that my stuff has changed a lot over the years, is I've become really, really sensitive to the 6-second rule. That every 6 seconds with a video sales letter, something's got to change. What they see has got to change. Something has to change on the screen. That's why you see a lot with some video sales letters where it's Kern does this a bunch, where he's on the screen and he's talking, but about every 5 to 6 seconds they'll do a jump zoom or a jump pull back or a camera from the side or something to just keep the camera angle changing.
Well, if you notice the way, movies and series, anything on Netflix or Amazon Prime or any of the cable stations, if you look at a movie now, as opposed to something back in the 80s or the 70s, back then the camera was way more static. But now, if you look at any series, there are just hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of cuts, and also a camera just moving and following a character, right? There's constant movement because it keeps us engaged. You don't have time to get tired, to fall asleep, if the story and the hooks of that story are compelling enough.
Yeah. And you see that hooks being used not just at the beginning of content, but at the end of content. If you watch any cable news, I don't care what your political persuasion is. I like to watch them all just to laugh. Okay. But they use hooks more at the end of segments to hook you, to make you sit through 3 to 5 minutes of commercials. You want to learn how to write some great hooks and watch what they do, because that's how they hook you long enough to watch the Cialis ads, the supplement ads, the pet food ads, the drug ads, all those ads and stuff. To watch those, they hook you. And so hooks aren't just for the beginning. Hooks are for the middle. Hooks are, you got to hook them and keep them hooked. You got to set the hook and keep hooking them again and again and again.
It's hook after hook.
That's right. All right. So shall we see if we have any questiones? Okay. So this is from Voitech. When your targets are companies or slash businesses, does the term personalized, is that still valid? Like personalized templates? As I will be talking via selling to one person at a time, business owner, it should be the right term, right? I think, personalized is still valid. I think the idea that you're trying to get across is that this isn't just one to many. This is one to one. It's my whole thing has always been, your video sales letter might get seen by 1 million people, but it's actually going to be seen one time by 1 million different people. And that's the way you got to look at it.
Yeah. The phrase, it's not personal, it's business is it's just total BS. If you want people to continue to buy from you over and over again, it's always personal. It just is. You have to have. The problem with companies and corporations is that they send out these templated messages that are dry and devoid of any kind of empathy and emotion, and it's all about them and their stuff.
Page 16. That's how you make it personal. These are the reasons why people buy. Those are the reasons people buy. It doesn't matter if you're a corporate buyer. Corporate buyers buy for personal reasons. They don't want to get fired. They want to look good in front of their boss. They want to be popular in the boardroom. I mean, there's people are people are people. It doesn't matter. That's why I say B to C or B to B is BS. It's all B to P. It's all business to people. VJ has a very good question, which I will let you answer because I think you're more qualified. VJ wants to know how to develop the skill of being a better hooker.
Okay, this is perfect because I walk the streets quite a bit.
Down on the stroll, baby.
Yeah, I got my own street lamp. So VJ, look at great copy. So if you're on the interwebs, what I would do is if you're on any kind of news site, any news site, where you're like, I don't care what your political leanings are, scroll down. This is just the first thing that popped in my head. And you'll see paid content by Taboola or Outbrain. Look at those headlines. Look at those. Click on them. Click on them. And you'll get to a site, and Jim mentioned this word before, you'll probably go to what's called an advertorial. You'll see headlines, you'll see subheadlines, and you'll see the body copy. It's an advertorial is an editorial, like an opinion disguised. It's an advertisement disguised as an editorial. That's what it is. They're brilliant. These companies make tens, hundreds, and billions of dollars.
Yep.
So if they're doing it, that's what you want to, if you want to learn how to write great headlines, look at news hooks. I mean, everything, whether you're at CNN, Fox, OAN, Newsmax, MSNBC, ABC, CBS, and it doesn't matter.
All of them.
Check all of them. Go to AOL.com, Yahoo.com, and look at the things that they want you to click on because they're all hooks. They're all headlines. Take notice of the ones that you're compelled to look at. Not all of them are going to be great. Go ahead.
The funny thing is, though, that you will see patterns emerge. I don't know. Just for me, patterns are everywhere, and they emerge. And you will see if you've got to take your own political leanings out of it when you're looking at that stuff. Take yourself out of it and just see, because then you will see how the one pattern is used or different patterns are used across the board. Should Trump be impeached? Well, now you see people seeing, should Biden be impeached? Should they use the 25th Amendment on Biden? Should Biden run for re-election? I mean, I'm just throwing stuff out there, but it doesn't matter who it is.
It doesn't. The
pattern is what works.
Should Pelosi be canned? Should McConnell be canned? Right?
Should blank be fired?
Yeah.
It's just, you'll see these things. And when you know that you're starting to get it when you can start filling in the blanks and your mind will start like switching things around. It happens to me all the I can't look at something and not try 20 different versions of it in my head.
I know. I mean, that is the best place to look for ideas on how to write great hooks and model it. It's called model it. Don't steal it, but you can use the same how to do blank without blank. I mean, it works over and over and over again.
Right.
Should blank be blanked?
Right. Should blank be banned?
So one that on Outbrain that's been running for years. I mean, for 10 years now, this razor blade has upset $1 billion industry.
Yep.
That's the Dollar Shave Club. That's what that's been running for 10 years. Why? Because it's making a ton of money. It's hooking people. And you would think that everybody has seen that ad by now. No. You know why? Because there's a lot of kids after 10 years, 10 years ago, they were 10 years old. Now they're 20. So by the time they start going to a news site and reading it, they're reading it for the first time, even though it's been running for 10 years. Yeah. Kids, boys going into puberty, they're shaving now. So it's got longevity.
Or like me, my wife buys everything in bulk. So I might not be in the market for a razor for 2 or 3 years, literally. I mean, I'm being serious because I've got 30 razors sitting back there. I'm waiting to work my way through them. And obviously I use razors quite a lot.
Yeah.
So that's half the battle, VJ, okay, is getting ideas for hooks. The other half of the battle is go put some hooks in front of live fish and see if they bite. That's the only way you're really going to know is if you run some ads, do some content, put up some web pages, put up some funnels and run traffic to them and see if they work or not.
Write an email to your list. A hook is the subject line of your email. We'll see who opens. The open rates will tell you right there what is a good hook.
Yep.
I'll never forget the one. I mean, you remember this too. This was 17 years ago. Frank Kern, and then everybody just ripped it off. He had a subject line in his email, bad news. It just flipped the internet on its head because everybody started using bad news as a headline because it worked so darn good.
But you know what? I bet it would work now because enough time has gone by.
Sure.
That, you mentioned something earlier about different kind of videos and stuff. And you mentioned doodle videos. Doodle videos used to be the thing.
Huge. Mm-hmm.
Everybody was doing doodle videos. How many doodle videos do you see now?
Hardly any.
Hardly any. So what does that mean it's worth doing now?
It's repurposing and recycling it. Bring it back. And it's funny that you say that because I've gone, or just the animated ads with just text and color, right?
Right.
Those things. Right. Really popular 7-8 years ago. Yep. By the wayside. Great time to bring them back because nobody's seen them. So who asked that? So I hope that answered
that was VJ.
Your question, VJ. You want a great headline? Go to Amazon and look at book titles. Which one? Look at bestsellers for nonfiction. Great source of headlines because a book title is a hook. When people say that phrase, people don't judge a book by its cover, or don't judge a book by its cover, everybody does.
Right. To that point, though, don't just look at the
subhead
headline. Look at the subheadline because often the real hook is inside the subheadline. That's where the magic is. So Faith just asked a good question. She said, do you think you should edit funnel scripts much after it comes out or just leave it? So I'm going to answer you 110% honestly, Faith. The purpose of funnel scripts or the Jim Edwards method or, any Fill My Webinar scripts, traffic secret scripts, the purpose is to get you from zero to first draft as fast as possible. And the quality of the input is going to dictate the quality of the output. So sometimes, and I will tell you that I am the #1 power user of funnel scripts, especially now with the avatar feature that we have in there. And the more time you spend massaging your avatar, the less work you do when it spits out the scripts, when you use them in individual scripts. But I would say, with any script, and whether you were using a swipe file that you had somewhere that you're just modeling things, it needs a polish pass. But the hardest draft that you will ever write is the first draft. What the biggest thing that funnel scripts and any of my other scripts do for you, and like Fill My Webinar scripts that Dean and I created together, is it gets you from that blinking cursor to a well-formed first draft that follows proven formulas and blueprints that are known to work. And you're plugging stuff in, which is all copywriting is. It's that's in the end, learning to do copywriting is learning patterns of learning language patterns and plugging in your specific information about your ideal customer, or if you're writing for other people, it's plugging in the information for their ideal customer. That's all copywriting is. It's not original prose. It is following patterns and applying those patterns to your product and the ideal customer. Thoughts, Dean?
I'm good with that.
Okay.
I am. You did, yeah.
Faith says, do we put more hooks into the mega script? I guess you're asking the mega sales letter script as we move down. You will see where you can put them in there, but I pretty much have the mega sales letter script is set up to show you where hooks as you're moving down to the subheadlines where typically you would have them. You can do whatever you want. You can break stuff up. You can add more things where we have the 20 some odd bullets. If you wanted to have a subheadline every 5 or 6 bullets, you could do that too. I mean, I just have one at the beginning and one right in the middle. So it's like hook 12 bullets, hook 12 bullets. But my thought is you're probably going to edit out 3 or 4 of each in each section and end up with, 7 or 8. So it's really up to you. The thing is, does it read right? And are you handing people off from one section to the next, to the next, to the next? That's what you worry about.
You want to keep the read going.
Yes.
You want people to turn the page. Even though you're scrolling, you want to get people to scroll so they don't feel their butt in their seat.
All right. Bob made a comment that I did not know. I don't know if this is true or not, but it sounds interesting. Says the cliffhanger was invented by Charles Dickens so he could serialize his books and make more money. Nice. There you go.
There's a question from Faith who says, I had a branding company say to me, copy should have very little color. White space apparently calming. Do you agree with these long form sales letters having mostly white?
Yes. I think your long form sales letter should be primarily white background with black text. As far as the main reading material, that's my thought. As far as different color headlines and stuff, absolutely, I do those.
Yeah, and I think what's more important is space, giving breathing room. Typically, I don't care what color it's got. First, I do care what color it is because it's got to be easy to read. Whenever you have white text on a dark background or something, to me, people think they're being clever or different. And to me, that's horrible. And you're killing a sale and you're killing a read. Black text on background that you can read. So here's what I like doing. I have no more than 2 sentences per paragraph. Then it's double spaced or space. And then
2 sentences or 2 lines?
2 sentences.
Okay.
But I won't do
What if they're long sentences? What if they're really long sentences?
I won't do it. I'll break it up with ellipses and then continue, skip a space, double space, and then continue with ... and continue with the sentence if it's a long sentence.
Okay.
because that's a way to hook somebody to continue to read, because you're stopping a thought in the middle of the sentence. And if it's a decent, if there's information in there that's worth reading, they're going to continue on the next line. So what I like to do is, like Jim said, just the way that subheads are a change of thought, it's a change of pattern, rhythm, tone, you're leading them in another direction.
Like shifting gears.
It's shifting gears. So what I'll do to help the reader, I'll do it with like a slight color change in the background. So I like having different colors for each subhead that I've got. So the subhead's in a different color and the body of the text follows that same color. But it's easy to read because subconsciously, not only does the subhead, it's like an extra push, right? It's getting somebody behind you to pull somebody along. So the subhead is a change, and that's different color on the background is also a signal for the brain to say, oh, something's different here.
Yeah, that's way too cerebral for me. I just
really,
yeah, I understand what you're saying, and I mean I've seen it. That's more of a design thing than a copywriting thing, and that ain't my thing. So I'm not disagreeing with it. I'm just saying I don't think in those. I don't think in those
all
terms.
the time.
Okay, that's cool.
Yeah,
and it makes perfect sense. I've seen you do it. What I'm saying is my mind just doesn't compute for me as far as coming up with the idea to do it.
Sure,
if that makes sense.
So Faye says, you think that one is better? No, it depends on your audience. It completely depends on your audience. So both Jim and I have written letters, sales letters that have just total white background, black text, subheads, headlines. It's just on a white page. If the copy and the messaging and the hook is compelling, people will read it. They won't care about the design.
Yep.
And somebody like Frank Kern, that's practically all he does.
Yeah. Well, and he's still, but then again, that becomes more of a brand type thing. That's like what you call it, Gary Halbert. I mean, the way he did his the way that he did his Halbert letter. That was one of those things that it was almost like anti-technology, if that makes sense.
It was ugly.
Yeah, on purpose.
Oh yeah, it was like on a yellow background and black text, and you would read it depending on, when these letters came out from Jewfish, Arkansas, right?
Jewfish Creek.
Jewfish Creek, and then you're going, he's hooked me right from Jewfish Creek,
Right.
Right.
So I was trying to pull something up real quick, to show y'all something of come on, trying to pull up a sales page. Here we go. Okay. This is a multi-million-dollar sales page from back in the day. All right. This formatting is just as legit today as it would ever be. I'm just saying, I would have no problem formatting something this way. Maybe it would be just a little bit cleaned up, different fonts and stuff. Multi-million dollars with this. Okay. And it's nothing but a white background, navy blue sub headlines, and black text. And look how, I mean, this is Times New Roman, and Arial. But I mean, there you go. I mean, maybe a little bit better formatting, but
is that made with front page?
Absolutely. Front page 2001, man. I was there you go. I mean, that's that's the sales letter and presentation. Again, how would this be different from a funnel? Well, with ClickFunnels or something, it'd be centered and, it'd be optimized so you could view it on a phone. But other than just a few little formatting changes.
I love that. You've also got a shot. The headline, it was the subhead.
Which one?
Go down. Keep going. Keep going. You've also, there it is.
You've also got a shot at a very exclusive one-on-one coaching program, but only for the first 50 people who sign up for the one-on-one consulting and coaching option.
You've also got a shot.
Yeah, but I mean, look at this headline. Finally, a quick and easy way for you to painlessly set up your own money-making mini websites without being a computer geek, buying expensive software, or paying outrageous fees to a webmaster. Can you see this? Outrageous fees to a copywriter, outrageous fees to a publisher, without buying expensive whatever. So I throw that out there because yes, it would be formatted a little bit differently, but how different actually is it? It looks a little more modern, but
I bet you paid somebody like $500 just to put that computer graphic in there back then.
No, I did it myself. I knew how to do all that stuff.
Really?
Oh, you're talking about the graphic at the top?
Yeah, that computer graphic. That was like revolutionary.
Oh, yeah. I had to deal with a guy though. So
a banner, a V.2 banner over it, an overlay.
Yeah, it didn't cost me over $200 because I was cheap.
Okay.
I wasn't gonna overpay. But like this, I mean, I got a package deal with that. Hey man, you could run with this software box all day long today. Mm-hmm. All day long today. All right. So, but this is Windows 97 screenshots. But dude, all day long, you could do that. That's why, learning principles and being a good hooker, that's what's going to make the difference for you. The delivery may change a little bit, but in the end, you got to hook people and you got to, you just keep them moving through using that formula, using whichever formula or blueprint that you're doing. But I mean, dude, look at this stack. I was doing a stack before people knew what a stack. Look at this whole stack. All right. You're going to get the mini site sales page wizard, the opt-in page wizard, the most burning question wizard, the exit page redirector wizard, the affiliate link cloaker pro 4.0. Plus you're going to get the 8-week coaching session. So down here, and look at that. Who is Jim Edwards and why should I listen to him?
Still using it 23 years later.
Act now and receive all these bonuses to explode your mini site profit. So bonus. And then, I didn't even do a summary stack.
There you
look at that. Or I guess I sort of did. I mean, it was clumsy. Okay, here we go. Includes and all this stuff. So here's the thing. So boom.
Hey,
boom.
I just noticed something. What? I like that. And I haven't seen that before.
What?
You don't start with you said the word includes. That's good. Includes.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I did something right. I ain't living in that trailer anymore. I figured something out. So, anywho, well, that's all we got time for, Dino. We appreciate y'all being here with us. Hope you enjoyed the Jim and Dean show. If you'd like to hire somebody to write amazing copy for you, you can contact Dean. Dean, how would they get in touch with you?
They can reach out at onebigIdeamarketing@gmail.com, and that's the numeral 1.
I was going to say, and that's the letter 1. And so
the number I.
The number. And if by some chance you do not have a copy of Copywriting Secrets, the international bestseller, it's even been called a modern day classic already. Over 50,000 copies sold, not just in print in my garage. Go to copywritingsecrets.com. I'll give you a free copy. I just ask you to pay a small shipping and handling. So there you go. Everybody have a great day. Thanks for joining us. Dean, you did a great job. Shall we end with Beethoven or a polka? It's up to you.
Give me Beethoven. Give me Beethoven.
There you go. All right. Not as good as the polka. It's over too soon. All right. Everybody have a great day, and we'll talk to you next time.
Bye.
Be sure and tell your friends about the Jim and Dean Show.